if you work a normal job, pay normal bills, and still want to drive something that feels premium. The modern car market can feel like a scam. Everywhere you look, it is the same story. $700 a month, $800 a month, maybe even $900 a month. And what are you getting for that kind of money? A giant screen, a bunch of plastic trim, a tiny turbo engine working way too hard, and a warranty clock ticking down towards some painfully expensive repair. That is the trap a lot of people think. Luxury means buying new. But the smartest buyers know something most people do not. There was a time, especially in the late 1990s and 2000s, when certain luxury cars were built with a completely different mindset. Back then, the engineering mattered more. The materials were heavier. The drivetrains were simpler. The ride quality was better. The durability was taken seriously. These were not throwaway cars, designed to survive a lease period and then become someone else's problem. Some of these cars were genuinely overbuilt. And that is where the opportunity is today, because most people are scared of old luxury cars. They hear used Mercedes or old Lexus or older, and they imagine endless repair bills and a dead car sitting in the driveway. So they run right back to the dealership and sign up for years of monthly payments on something new that will lose value the second it leaves the lot. But if you know what to look for, and more importantly, what to avoid, there is a loophole in the used market. You can still buy a luxury car that feels expensive, rides beautifully, and has a drivetrain with a real reputation for lasting. Not every old luxury car is a good idea. Let's be clear about that. Some are absolute disasters, but the right ones can make a brand new payment feel ridiculous. Today, we are looking at 5 used luxury cars that still make sense in 2026. If you are on a normal salary and you want something that feels premium without wrecking your finances, these are not dream cars for millionaires. These are real-world smart buys. Cars that still have comfort, still have class, still have presence, and most importantly, still have a reputation for lasting when they have been maintained properly. By the end of this list, you will see why some of the best luxury cars on the road today are not new at all. Let's start with number 5. Number 5. Acura RL. 2005 to 2010, the Acura RL is one of the most overlooked luxury sedans of its era. And honestly, that is part of what makes it such a smart buy now. When this car was new, it was Acura's way of showing that Honda could build a real flagship sedan. Not just something comfortable, not just something reliable, but something that could stand next to European rivals and offer serious engineering without the drama that often comes with European ownership. That is the key to understanding the RL. This car was never about showing off. It was never the loudest. It was never the flashiest. It was never the one people bought because they wanted attention. People bought the RL because they wanted a luxury sedan that felt solid, refined, advanced for its time, and dependable enough to live with long term. And that is why it still makes sense today. The Acura RL gives you a lot of what people want from a luxury car without forcing you into the worst parts of luxury ownership. You get a quiet cabin, you get a comfortable ride, you get a high-end feel, and you get Acura's reputation for building cars that are generally far less stressful to own than many of MIHR competitors. This is the kind of car for someone who wants premium comfort. Without making the car their entire personality, you can commute in it, you can road trip in it, you can take clients to lunch in it, you can park it in a normal parking lot and not feel like you need private security watching over it. And that low-key nature helps it in the used market. Because while people chase BMW badges and Mercedes styling, the RL often gets ignored. That means the prices can stay surprisingly reasonable for what you are getting. Instead of paying for hype, you are paying for substance. Now, the smart way to buy one is simple. You want a clean example. You want service history if possible. You want a car that feels smooth, quiet, and properly maintained. An older luxury car always needs to be inspected carefully. Always. But the RL has a reputation for being one of those cars that rewards buyers who think logically instead of emotionally. It is not the car for someone chasing attention, it is the car for someone chasing value. And when you find a good one, it really feels like a loophole. Because while other people are spending huge money every month just to sit in traffic in something new, you are sitting in a well-built luxury sedan that still feels expensive. Where it counts, the Acura RL is not trying to impress the world. It is trying to make your life easier. And sometimes, that is exactly the kind of luxury that matters most. Number 4. Volvo S83.2. 2007 to 2010. IF. The Acura RL is understated. The Volvo S80 is even more discreet. This is one of those cars that almost disappears in plain sight, and that is a big part of its appeal. The S83.2 is not flashy, it is not aggressive, It is not trying to look rich. Instead, it gives you a very different kind of luxury.com. Luxury, mature luxury, confident luxury. This is the kind of car that tells people you made a smart decision, not a loud one. Volvo has always had its own identity in the luxury world. It does not chase the same image. As the Germans, it does not try to feel like a sports sedan first. It does not build around status in the same way. Instead, Volvo focuses on comfort, safety, thoughtful design, and a certain kind of quiet confidence. And in the S83.2, that formula works beautifully. This car is for the person who values the way a car feels over the way it looks in somebody else's rearview mirror. You get excellent seats. You get a relaxed driving experience. You get a cabin that feels refined without being overdone. And you get a car that, in the right example, can still feel surprisingly expensive years later. That is what makes it such an interesting buy-in. The used market. A lot of people skip over old Volvos because they are chasing badges that feel more obvious. But that creates opportunity. Because when a car gets ignored by the mainstream market, prices often stay lower than they should for the quality being offered. And that is where the SAD becomes very appealing. It is not trying to be the sportiest thing on the road. It is trying to be the car you actually enjoy living with. The kind of car that makes a long drive feel easy. The kind of car that takes the edge off a stressful day. The kind of car that feels stable, quiet, and composed on the highway. For a lot of people, that matters more than raw performance numbers. And in real life, that kind of comfort is what luxury is supposed to feel like. Of course, you still have to shop carefully. This is an older premium car, which means condition matters more than the badge on the grille. You want something that was maintained. You want a car that starts cleanly, drives smoothly, and does not show obvious signs of neglect. If you buy the wrong example, any older luxury car can become expensive. But if you find the right one, the Volvo S83.2 offers a kind of quiet value that is hard to replace. It is the car for adults, the car for someone who does not need applause, the car for someone who wants comfort without attention, the car for someone who understands that real luxury does not always have to announce itself. And that is exactly why this Volvo deserves a place on this list. Number 3. Infiniti G35, 2003 to 2008. Now let's switch things up. Because not every luxury buyer wants softness and silence above everything else. Some people still want their car to feel alive. That is where the Infiniti G35 comes in. The G35 is the enthusiast's luxury car on this list. It gives you a premium badge, strong road presence, and a much more driver-focused personality than the common sedans we have already covered. This is the car for someone who still wants to enjoy the drive. And that matters, because a lot of modern vehicles feel numb. They are quick on paper, but forgettable in real life. They isolate you from everything. They turn driving into background noise. The G35 came from a time when performance and personality still mattered. It was one of those cars that made people take Infiniti seriously. It looked sharp, it felt energetic, it had real rear character, and it offered a driving experience that felt more special than its price suggested. That is still true now, which is why people continue to talk about it. This is not the plushest car on the list. It is not the quietest. It is not the softest. But that is not what the G35 is trying to be. It is trying to be the luxury sedan that still remembers how to have fun. That makes it a great choice for buyers who want more than comfort. If you are the kind of person who gets bored easily in a car that feels too detached, the G35 has a lot more appeal than something softer and more isolated. It feels more awake, more responsive, more connected. And for the right driver, that is a huge selling point. Another reason the G35 remains attractive is that it gives you performance flavor without the ownership fear that often comes with used European sports sedans. That does not mean it is perfect. It means it can make more sense. You still have to be careful. Though, this is one of the biggest warnings on the list. Because sporty cars often attract owners who drive hard, modify things poorly, skip maintenance, or treat the car like a temporary toy. So when you shop for a G35, you need patience. You do not want the one that has been abused. You do not want the one with suspicious modifications. You do not want the one with a story that does not add up. You want the adult-owned example, the clean one, the cared-for one, the one that still feels tight and healthy. Find that car, and the G35 becomes one of the most rewarding choices here. It has style, it has energy, it has real personality, and most importantly, it still feels like a car with a soul. That is getting harder and harder to find. A lot of new cars are more efficient. A lot of new cars are more digital. A lot of new cars are more complicated, but not many of them are more interesting. the Infiniti G35 may not be the safest pick for careless buyers. But for informed buyers who want luxury with some edge, it is still one of the most appealing used options out there. It is the car on this list. That reminds you driving can still be fun, and that alone makes it worth talking about. Number 2. Mercedes E-Class W211 Facelift, 2007 to 2009. There are some cars that still carry a certain presence, no matter how old they get. The Mercedes-Benz E-Class is one of them. Even years later, a clean W211 still looks like success. Not flashy success. Not flashy success. Not success. Not attention-seeking success. Real success. The kind that looks calm, established, and comfortable. That is a big reason why the W211 Facelift remains such an appealing used luxury buy. But this is also where being smart matters a lot. Because not every old Mercedes is a bargain. Some are bargains for the worst possible reason. They are cheap because they are waiting to hurt the next owner. That is why the exact years matter. When people talk about the W2, they are usually talking about the facelift years, especially the later versions that benefited from improvements over the earlier models. That distinction matters because buy and buy badge alone is how people get into trouble. You do not just buy a Mercedes. You buy the right Mercedes. And when you find the right W11, it offers something very special. This car gives you traditional Mercedes character in a way many newer cars no longer do. It feels substantial. It feels composed. It feels dignified. The cabin has that classic executive's Eden atmosphere. The ride feels settled. The car has presence without trying too hard. And for buyers who still love that old-school Mercedes personality, this can be one of the most satisfying entries into premium. German ownership. There is also a major psychological advantage here. A W211 still looks expensive. Even now, it carries itself like a real luxury sedan, not a dressed-up economy car with a giant payment attached to it. That means, if you buy carefully, you can get a car that still delivers image, comfort, and road presence for a fraction of what modern luxury ownership now costs. And that is exactly why this list exists, to show that there are still smart ways to buy nice things. Now again, caution matters. This is an older German luxury car that means maintenance history is not optional. Inspection is not optional. Patience is not optional. You need to make sure the car was owned by someone who understood it. A neglected Mercedes can turn into an expensive lesson very quickly, but a well-kept one can feel incredible for the money. You get the smoothness, you get the prestige, you get the highway comfort. You get the sense that you are driving a serious machine built for people who value quality. There is also something else that is hard to ignore. Cars like this create an atmosphere. Some vehicles are transportation. Some vehicles are tools. And some vehicles make even a simple drive feel a little more elevated. That is what a good E-Class does. It turns an ordinary commute into something calmer and more composed. It makes long drives feel effortless. It gives you that classic German executive sedan feeling that so many people still love. And that is why the W211 Facelift earns the number 2 spot. It is not the cheapest car to own on this list. It is not the least risky. But when you choose carefully, it delivers an experience that still feels far more expansive than the purchase price suggests. And for many buyers, that is exactly the point. Number 1. Lexus LS 430 2001 to 2006. This is the one. The Lexus LS 430 is the car that almost always comes up when people start talking about truly dependable luxury sedans from the golden era. And that reputation did not come from hype. It came from years of owners, mechanics, and enthusiasts seeing the same thing over and over again. These cars last, they stay smooth, they stay quiet, they stay comfortable. And when they have been maintained properly, they age with an incredible amount of dignity. That is what makes the LS 430 so special. This is not just an old luxury car that happens to be decent. This is one of the benchmark cars of its era. Flagship sedan that was built with obsessive attention to detail and refinement at a time when Lexus was determined to prove that luxury could also mean long-term dependability. And the result was something remarkable. The LS 430 does not rely on drama. It does not need giant styling statements. It does not need a flashy personality. Its confidence comes from how complete it feels. The doors shut with weight. The ride feels composed. The cabin feels calm. The entire car gives off a sense of mechanical maturity. It feels expansive in the way that matters. Not fake expansive, actually expensive. Even today, when you sit in a well-kept LS 430, you can feel the difference. This was a car built to satisfy people who cared about comfort, refinement, smoothness, and quality at a very high level. And what makes it so powerful in the used market is that it still delivers much of that experience without demanding modern flagship money. That is the loophole. Because so many people assume luxury has to be new. To be real, the LS430 proves that is not true. In many ways, this car feels like the opposite of the modern car industry. No unnecessary drama, no forced gimmicks, no trying too hard, just deep engineering, serious refinement, and a reputation that has survived for a reason. That is why people who know these cars speak about them with so much respect. They understand what the LS430 represents. It represents a time when building a luxury car properly mattered, more than adding endless layers of complexity. It represents the kind of ownership experience people wish more cars still delivered, and it represents one of the strongest value plays in the entire used luxury market. Of course, let's keep it real. It is still an older car. That means you still inspect it carefully. You still check maintenance records. You still look at the suspension, the fluids, the condition, the electronics, and the overall care the car has. Received age affects everything eventually. That part never changes. But what makes the LS430 stand above so many others is that when it has been looked after, it often feels like it was built to embarrass time itself. That is rare. Really rare. And that is why this car gets the #1 spot. Because if your goal is to buy a used luxury sedan, that gives you the best chance of combining comfort, prestige, and long-term durability. The LS430 is one of the strongest answers ever made. It is not just the smartest luxury buy on this list. For many people, it is the smartest luxury buy, period. And when you compare that to what people are signing for right now, giant monthly payments, shrinking engines, overcomplicated systems, rapid depreciation, and endless digital clutter, the LS430 starts to feel less like an old car and more like a protest against bad financial decisions. That it is the beauty of it. It lets you enjoy real luxury without playing the modern game. No huge note every month. No desperate attempt to look successful through debt. No paying premium money for something that may not even age well. Just a beautifully made flagship sedan with one of the strongest reputations in the business. That is why the LS430 is still the king. So what is the real lesson here? It is simple. You do not need a brand new luxury car to enjoy luxury. What you need is the right car, the right condition, and the right strategy. Because while a lot of people are out there making massive monthly payments on vehicles that are already losing value, smart buyers are looking in a different direction. They are buying proven engineering. They are buying mature designs. They are buying cars that already took the depreciation hit, and they are getting far more comfort, quality, and character for the money. That is why these 5 cars still matter. The Acura RL is the quiet overachiever. The Volvo S80 is the understated comfort pick. The Infiniti G35 is the enthusiast choice. The Mercedes W211 facelift brings classic executive presence. And the Lexus LS430 stands above them all as the benchmark for dependable, old-school luxury. Now, this does not mean every old luxury car is a good deal. Far from it. There are plenty of bad examples out there. That is why you always inspect before you buy. Always look for maintenance history. Always stay patient. And always remember that a cheap price means nothing if the car has been neglected. The goal is not to buy an old luxury car. The goal is to buy a good old luxury car. That difference is everything. But when you get it right, the payoff is huge. You get comfort without the crushing payment. You get style without the insane depreciation. You get quality without the finance office trap. And in a market where so many people feel priced out of everything, nice, that matters more than ever. So now, I want to hear from you. Which one would you take home? The Acura RL, the Volvo S80, the Infiniti G35, the Mercedes E-Class, or the Lexus LS430? Drop your choice in the comments. And if you want more videos on reliable used cars, smart luxury buys, and the hidden gems that still make sense in today's market, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the smartest car on the road is not always the newest one. Sometimes, it is the one everybody else forgot.